Iron is important through both plants and animals as it is one of the ingredients responsible for creating chlorophyll for the former and is also responsible for hemoglobin for the latter. Now that we know iron is important, how does it work? The states of iron in this cycle changes from Fe2+ and Fe3+. You can think of it as water, steam, and ice and the water cycle, and they can change from one to the other. Fe3+ can change into Fe2+, and Fe3+ can change into Fe2+. Iron mainly cycles between two territories, the ocean and the land. The ocean iron cycle can start with planktons and other primary producers by absorbing the iron floating around the ocean. Then, consumers will eat the planktons and will utilize the iron found in those. Depending on how they utilize the iron, it will go back to the ocean again for the planktons to absorb again. The land iron cycle can start with plants absorbing the iron from the soil, plants using it to produce chlorophyll, animals eating the plants and using the iron to produce hemoglobin, and then dying and decomposing in the soil where iron is reabsorbed. Keep in mind that these two types are not exclusive. They can interact with each other. For example, think of animals catching fishes containing iron in the ocean or terrestrial animals dying in the ocean. There are many ways that iron cycles between territories, but the important fact is that all of them needs it and uses it.
Vulnerability to biodiversity. The iron cycle has a crucial role in providing enough amount of iron for living organisms. According to Becker and Ash 2005, as stated in Paris Guzman et al. 2010, even though plants have a need for small amounts of iron, plants may be intoxicated with it, wherein there is an association of the soil solution's large ferrous iron concentrations with iron toxicity. Perez Guzman et al. 2010 further stated that aquatic systems have iron only as its minor component, even if iron has relatively high abundance on the planet due to it being relatively insoluble in water and its circumneutral pH. This said, an inadequate amount of iron may not be sufficient for plants' growth and production. Meanwhile, high amounts may intoxicate plants, and specifically in aquatic systems, it may alter the environment affecting organisms there. With plants which are known to be the producers being affected, other organisms in the food web will also be at risk. Thus, the biodiversity will also face changes, most likely in a negative way. This is also true with alterations in the aquatic ecosystems. Therefore, altered or unaltered iron cycles combined with other factors such as climate change may determine what will happen in the biodiversity simply because organisms may face reduction of populations, among others if there will be disturbances. Anthropogenic activities such as mining may lead to alterations in the cycle. Thus, humans have a vital role in reducing these disturbances. This may include mining responsibly, avoiding dumping metal waste in the bodies of water, and so on.
Moving on to vulnerability to food security. According to the United Nations, food security is the state in which all people at all times have access to enough, safe, and nourishing food that satisfies their dietary needs and food preferences for an active and healthy life. These foods include a variety of crops and animals that are heavily affected by the efficient operation of the iron cycle, an example of which would be how the distribution of plant species within natural ecosystems is governed by the availability of iron in the soil, which also has an impact on crop productivity and nutritional value. These plants depend on the unaltered iron cycle to provide both our food and the food for what we eat. A few imbalances in this cycle will result in either limited or inedible plants. This has a detrimental effect on our ability to secure food because the current supply will not be able to meet the demand.
Disruption on the cycle may cause depletion of iron, which will eventually get reduced as it goes around the cycle. If there is a lack of iron in the soil, the plants, animals, and humans will get affected too. Iron is an important mineral for the human body because it aids in producing hemoglobin and myoglobin, which are proteins that transport oxygen to different parts of the body. Iron deficiency in humans can cause anemia, which may lead to effects such as tiredness, gastrointestinal problems, and can weaken our immune system.
Any kind of disruption within the biogeochemical iron cycle may cause unwanted effects to water quality. In most cases, iron deposits naturally on bodies of water such as rivers, lakes, and seas, while also settling upon underground aquifers. However, due to biogeochemical altering practices of excessive mining and improper waste disposal, disruptions in the iron cycle sometimes occur, thus causing vulnerabilities to water quality. In normal circumstances, iron, which is an essential mineral, is harmless when deposited in water. However, due to it coming in excessive quantities, iron may disrupt skin cells and cause infections, wrinkles, and eczema. It may cause stains in objects, and it can even damage pipes by clogging and causing buildups. In this case, as a student, the least we can do to avoid the alterations within the biogeochemical iron cycle would be to observe proper waste management as well as to advocate the proper dissemination of information regarding the said issue. With these thoughts in mind, the biogeochemical iron cycle really is an important aspect in maintaining the life of creatures as it is. Almost every living thing, whether it be a plant or an animal living within the land or the ocean, relies upon this cycle. So we should keep in our minds that as much as possible, we humans as beings of a higher intellectual capacity should maintain the unaltered course of this cycle. Thus, we should also remember to be responsible for every single thing that we do, especially when it comes to dealing with our natural resources, because it's not just us who benefits from it.